Welcome to Bad Dice, the UK's first Warhammer Fantasy Battle podcast. We bring you news, reviews and updates from all around the UK tournament scene. Your hosts are Ben Curry and Ben Johnson. We hope you enjoy the show, and if you do, be sure to let us know. You can contact us on thebens@baddice.co.uk or leave a positive review on iTunes. Welcome to episode 20 of the Bad Dice podcast. This episode we've got a couple of guest co-hosts in with us. So introduce yourself, guys.
Alex Bobo Kinwald.
And Michael Biggs, hello.
So we're around at Michael's house. There's obviously me and Ben here as well.
Hello.
We're gonna talk about some stuff. We're gonna talk about the GT. We're gonna talk about Odd Boys, a few other bits and bobs. But first, we've got our sponsors to thank. So obviously, Irresistible Force, the guys who help us out with the rankings. Thanks to them boys, and Odd Games. Now, Odd Games have got a contest on, and Ben.
Yes.
Do you know what it is?
It is. It's Fantasy Command Group. So 3 models in a command group.
That wasn't a contest.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Okay. No.
Do you actually research what you're going to talk about
No,
in the
just
show,
a
or you
thought.
just
That's
come
why.
up and wing it?
Yeah.
That's why I dumped it on him because I knew he wouldn't know.
Yes, they are. That's what it is.
Okay, the Odd Games contest is if you spend £5 in the shop between now.
Oh, you're
and...
talking about a different contest. We've also got a painting contest, which is Paint a Command Group.
Okay, if you go on the.
That you didn't know about, did you?
Yes, I did. If
Liar.
you go on the Odd forums, they've got a painting contest, which I think they're doing every month.
Yeah.
And the current one's Painting a Command Group. I don't know if you win anything for that.
Yeah, 20 quid's worth of Allegio paints. If
There you
there's
go.
10 or more entrants, I believe.
And then they've also got a contest running for the next 2 months.
I know my shit.
If you spend £5 in the shop, or if you sign up to the Snake Eyes section, you get entered into a hat. And then at the Destruction Derby, which is the 5th of December, we're going to pull names out of the hat, and the winner wins Realm of Chaos. No, Chaos in the Old World board game. So check out Odd Games. That's www.oddgames.co.uk.
At least you didn't call it OG Games this time.
No, he doesn't like doing that. So what's in the news?
Screaming Bells out.
Yeah.
Picture's been emailed around today from Games Workshop.
What do you boys think?
We'll all have a bit of a look, haven't we?
It's very nice looking bit of kit.
I think it's stunning.
How much bigger than the previous one is it, do you think?
It looks about
Bigger.
8 inches tall.
No, I don't think it's all that much taller than the bigger one. Probably an inch or so, but
It
I think
looks
it's
a lot
bulkier.
fatter.
Well, it's got that rat ogre on the back, so that does give you a bit of an idea of the scale. Like
Yeah.
the rat ogre is what, a quarter of the height?
Probably a little bit less than that. I mean, if you just look at the Grey Seer sat on top and take that as being a 30mm model,
Well, you say sat, surfing on.
surfing the bell on top, yeah, it's got to be 8 or 9 inches tall.
Yeah, more than likely.
And then you've got the plague cart upgrade, plague cart thing,
Whatever it's called.
What does that do?
Cauldron
Not
of
a clue.
1,000 Poxers.
No, it's not that, is it? 'Cause
Is it not?
It's just a big sensor instead of a big bell. But the fumes coming off it are all sculpted. So it's like it's swinging in the wind. It looks. You've seen it.
Yes.
It looks like the bell's been ripped straight out the top of a church as well, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Which looks kind of awesome. We'll stick some photos on the episode notes, on show notes. Anything else in the news?
Warhammer Forum's been going wappy.
Oh yeah. That's about it.
That's about it. Well, it's White Dwarf month next month, isn't it? So
Next week.
next week.
Subscriptions.
Yeah.
I was surprised there wasn't one already this week. In fact, there might be one at home.
And there wasn't one at mine when I got home.
It's usually about the 19th, isn't it? It comes, so
Yeah.
yeah, next week.
Which will be
Okay.
full of scathing goodness.
Hopefully. More pictures and stuff. Have you guys seen all the other figures?
Yes, the special characters are fantastic. The Queek and
Snitch. And the other guy, what's the other guy called?
No, not a clue. It's the Clan Mulder one, yeah?
Oh, yeah, the guy with the whip. Not a big fan of him.
No, it looks too edgy. The angles on the
I
back.
like him. I've got to be
It
honest.
might just be a bad photo.
Might be.
The other two,
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I'm having to resist going out and buying a Skaven army.
Yeah.
Just
I
for
think
the
a lot of
characters.
people are.
Yeah.
Not just the characters. I mean, the Stormvermin, I think, great value, and the Clan Rats.
Yeah.
No, compare them to the Gold Swords.
Yeah.
Sorry. I actually said that was a genuine Freudian slip as well. I meant to say great swords.
Yeah, they are. We spoke about this on the last episode, didn't we? About the difference in price seems a little odd. Maybe they've took the feedback and decided against it.
Yeah, maybe,
But-
but maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Maybe it's just because they need a lot of scale and they know if they price it that they won't sell. Well, I don't know. I'm not bothered, to be honest. I'd pay the prices for them.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
pay the Great Swords prices
Yeah.
for them because if I was wanting to do an army, I'd just get on with it. It's just what you're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move swiftly on to Fortnite Fantasy since there's not a lot of news and we only tend to do news every other episode now. So, start with you, Ben.
Played you.
Yeah?
We had a bit of a demo game, didn't we, for one of your mates who's trying to get into the hobby. Just sort of pushing toys about, really, wasn't it? And fudging break tests.
Yeah. When the Hydra went in the... Was it the side of the unit?
Yeah.
No, in the front
In
of the
front of
Black
the
Orcs.
unit, yeah, and killed about 10.
Yeah, it's like, well, they'll run away, but we may as well leave them in just
Yeah.
fight another round and you get an idea of what's
Yeah.
going on.
Other than that, I've done a bit of painting, finished a demon unit, which is nice.
Yeah, 10 hours.
10 hours. Only took me 3 months, but you know.
Very nice.
Other than that, that's about all I've done, really. We've had a bit of a busy time, haven't we, recently, with
Yeah.
various things.
Well, he's at the GT at the weekend.
Yeah, we didn't play, but we're going to talk about that later.
Right,
aren't
in a
we?
bit, yeah. Michael, last couple of weeks, what have you been doing in the
Um,
hobby?
Well, besides being assistant, the referee at the GT Heat 1, stroke spare player, I played you.
Yes.
Seems like a common theme.
Did we talk about this on the last episode or not? I can't remember.
No. Yes, we did, actually. I think you forgot to talk about Bobo. Because you wrote down on a big bit of paper. And
Yeah.
were
Oh, when
rather
you were last
upset.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so we played.
Yeah, that was fun, at least for me. And I played Alex and had a rather embarrassing loss to his GT winning army. I lost by 360 odd victory points. I was gutted.
So tell us about your list which you used.
Oh, I used Kairos Fate Weaver in a bit of
Ooh.
practice. The filth that is Fate Weaver. In a bit of
You don't need to
practice.
tell us about the rest of the list. It's just
Yeah.
Kairos.
He's
Tyros
actually,
Scribes, done.
he's actually quite hard to play. It just doesn't matter if you get it wrong most of the time.
Yeah.
But to get it absolutely 100% right, I mean, considering the guy's got, first of all, when you pick your spells,
Yeah.
you've got a choice of
A
all
bazillion.
6 spells from all 8 laws
Yeah.
at each time, and you're out and things. It's quite difficult to play a perfect game with him.
Do
Like,
you
we've
ever
got Float
find
in
yourself just picking... Do you really think about it that much before each game?
there. I
Or-
try not to. It takes too long.
Yeah.
You don't want to annoy your opponent.
Yeah, it just would be a bit...
I know Rob Downey was going to borrow Adam Hall's Kairos list for Heat 1, and Adam was actually going to prep him up a whole bunch of
race-specific
race
spell
specific
lists.
what you take against what army, because it was Rob's birthday as well, so he was intending to basically be drunk
Yeah.
for 2 days
Took the
and
blood
just
test.
sort of he chickened out and took a bloodthirster
Yeah.
instead because that's what all the cool kids were doing. I'd never do something like that.
No. Of course not.
So it's just nice to be able to play like your Dark Elf army for once, rather than actually trying to get into combat and have a fun game for both players.
No.
Ooh.
What are you trying to say?
Ooh, that was a bit harsh, wasn't it?
Yeah, uncalled for. I don't know the Chaos list because I'm thinking of taking it to Heat 2, but having played one game today with Demons, I'm not sold. But I've only played one game, so I don't know.
I think you need to take Dark Elves.
How did your game go with the teams?
Today against Joe,
Yeah.
right. On deployment, I lined it all up. I was using Bobo's list, or the Andy Assured list. From
The Globo Gym special.
yeah.
So it was Team
Bloodthirster.
3G special.
Yeah. So it's a Bloodthirster, the Mask, Corn Jugger with -2 leadership. What else is this? Sound Song Herald, 2 Horrors, 2 Flesh Hounds, 2 Single Fiends.
5 Furies and Unity Nets.
There you go. So just
Yeah, I was-
on deployment, it's like this is shit. Well, didn't like it. First turn was quite fun when you just ran everything forward 20 inches,
I found the same thing pretty much.
and then it was after that it was just like, not overly impressed.
I put my Bloodthirster into this, oh look, smash. I put my Bloodthirster into this, oh look, smash.
Yeah, well, like
Oh,
Joe,
I stand my Bloodthirster next to Cyrus on Harold and oh look, smash.
I didn't do that. I should have done really.
Yeah.
I got Joe Gooden because he put his Blackguard in front of the Bloodthirster, didn't move his Lord across, so the Bloodthirster could go in and not hit the Lord and just hit Blackguard, and I killed 5 of them I think, and with -2 leadership off the mask, -2 off the banner.
Only 5.
Yeah. And only 5. And he had I think he had a leadership test on a 5 or something and fucked off. And then it was just Dark Elf killing demons for the next few turns. Vendistar Assassin did 3 wounds to the Bloodthirster in one go, which was a bit rude. In the end it was a draw. Apparently he was 200 points up.
So Joe won then?
No. How's that a win?
Depends who you ask.
Where's your rulebook, Biggs? Let's have a look, see what the victory point chart says.
So you see, Ben, it's like a game of football.
Exactly. If a team had scored 200 more goals, you would say they got stuffed.
Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, so that's my fortnight in fantasy. Well, it's only a week, isn't it, since last recorded?
Yeah.
In fact, we recorded this time last week. Was it Friday or Thursday? So I played.
You really do just ramble on this show, don't you?
Yeah, of course we fucking do. It's brilliant.
Have you never listened?
No.
Well, I started to, and then I thought this is far too much rambling.
Yeah, exactly. So we played, didn't we, Bobo?
We did.
Your first attempt with the demons.
My second. Well, I don't know if you can count my game against John Doe, which was over in 40 minutes.
Oh right.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Yeah,
Well,
do tell.
Well, I was much the same as you. My first game ever using demons. I deployed it and went, it's a bit weird. I'm not sure what to do with it. John went first, and I was getting anviled and stone throwed and things. And then I sort of did my first time movement and went, this is awesome. And then I did and then I teared some stuff off, and then did my second turn's movement. And John goes, cool, we can probably call it there. After my turn 2 movement phase.
Oh.
So that was against Thoric.
Nice.
And yeah, it went well. So, and then I played you later that same day, and you shot me to bits.
Yeah.
You bastard.
You discovered what the Dark Elf Gay Army does.
Well, I know what it
Makes
does.
sense.
So
not
hang on,
enjoy the game.
hang on. The army that went to the GT played 12 games, only lost to itself.
And then
Yeah.
me.
You played it the week before and took all his toys off, and you're thinking about taking demons.
You might have a point there.
I think I got a pretty
Wasn't
good
always
point.
times. You gave up turn 5, didn't you? Called
There
it
was
turn
no
5,
giving
didn't you?
up.
Well, there's not a lot of point carrying on after turn 5.
That's a give up.
It does give
not
up.
That's a give up.
No, it's not.
It is.
It was your turn 5.
There was no white flag flying.
You had an option of moving and you said we may as well call it then.
That's giving up.
Cheers, Ben. It's like football, you see. If you fucked off 15 minutes before
If you don't come out of the dressing room at half time, then you've given up.
Yeah. So what else have we done? Like I said, played a new guy down the club, popped in. Someone I used to work with over about 5 years ago. I've seen him now and again. And
We randomly met him in Bugman's
yeah,
one night.
we were at the GT a year or so ago. Might have been the last set of heats. No, it wasn't. It was the last, not the final just gone, the final before. So a while ago. And he was randomly in Bugman's. I was like, what are you doing here? Are you kids or something? He's like, no, I've come to buy some stuff, have a look around. Oh, okay. Anyway, popped down, showed him how to play, didn't we? Sort of pushed some toys around, and that was good. Not really done much else. Been buying stuff for the podcast. Business cards, stickers, sorting out dice. We've got some templates coming with
We're going to look professional and everything.
branded templates to be for sale soon on the website and all that sort of stuff. Other than that, not a lot. So is that all of us? Yeah, so we'll have a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about the GT.
Sorted.
If you just can't get enough of the Bad Dice podcast, we have just the thing for you. Head over to www.baddice.co.uk and aim for the Snake Eyes section. It costs you just £5 a year, and for your money, you get access to the bonus content we record of every episode. We have our own forums where you can speak to the hosts of the show. You can also chat with the guests and the regulars from the podcast. You'll also get access to members-only contests and discount off the Bad Dice merchandise. So if you want to support the podcast and help us make the show better for you guys, get yourself signed up for the Snake Eyes section today. Right, we're back from a short break of cup of tea and M&M's, and we're going to have a chat about the GT. First off though, Bobo, how are you finding the UK now you're here and now you're doing a few tournaments and that? What's your opinions on it? How does it differ to the Australian ones?
Ooh, that's a rather broad category, isn't it?
Well,
Do you want to ask me some more specific questions, or
Just ramble away.
Okay.
just ramble? Bad dice, ramble. Okay.
Yeah, just ramble.
Well, there's a couple of little differences I could talk about, like the fact that a lot of tournaments over here you get food included in the ticket price.
Don't you do that at all? in Australia?
Unheard of.
Really?
Yeah, I was quite
Okay.
surprised when I came over here. I'm like, oh, you get food? That's awesome.
So
And
what
then,
do you-
then I saw people on the internet complaining about, oh, the food was a bit crap. And I'm going, why are you complaining? It's food.
What do they do in
If you
Australia?
hadn't
Do you
guessed
just
yet,
have to
I
go
quite
out
like
and
food.
you just have to go out on your own and find something.
Well, it's usually in like an RSL club or something. So they've got a restaurant upstairs or
RSL.
Retired Servicemen's League.
Okay, British Legion type thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, there's or takeout or whatever.
So if they've got a restaurant upstairs, why does no one sort of put two and two together and get a food package
Two and
included?
two are quite big numbers, you know.
Well, true. You are Australian.
Don't be like that. So what about the time of the games and the time and schedule of the tournament?
Well, as I'm sure you could confirm for me, the times for the games over here vary quite a bit.
Yes.
Like, just as an example, the last 2 weeks we've played in Giant Fanatic where they had 3.5 hours playing.
That's not over here.
It's in the vicinity.
It's kind of not though, is it?
It's a big
Okay,
difference.
okay, well, what was the times like at Warrington?
2.5 hours.
2.5
2.5 hours. That's pretty standard for an Australian tournament. And GT was 2 hours.
2:15.
Which was, yeah, whatever.
I tell you, mate, that makes a huge difference from
Well, not
2
really.
hours.
Not with. I found at the GT, the games were so high powered that it's over in 40 minutes. Either way,
Well,
a lot of the time.
I refereed, and from refereeing this time to refereeing last time, once the round was called, there was a lot less running around telling people to stop playing, add scores up. You'd get 2 or 3 rather than a dozen from previous
I
years.
quite
just with
like
2
the
hours.
big the screen with the countdown timer they had on it. That
That's
was-
the first time they've had that.
Yeah, but I know we'll talk about the GT in a sec. Other things compared Australian to UK tournaments. Obviously, the power level is a bit different, but again, from what I understand, that varies from tournament to tournament here.
Has that had any impact on how you've enjoyed the tournament, on your gaming side of it? You know what I mean?
I've played 5 tournaments in 2.5 months since I've been travelling, and when I played the ETC, I thought, this is awesome. This is the best tournament I've ever played. And to be honest, it probably still is.
And it was
Just-
also higher powered armies.
It was high-powered armies, but what I really liked about it was that there was no subjective sort of comp score system.
Yeah.
There was the general restrictions, which admittedly aren't perfect, but the thing is that everyone is on the same level playing field because everyone knows what they are. Everyone knows it is a really sort of competitive tournament. Everyone comes there and they play in competitive ways, and as long as everyone understands that, and then you can just get on and play a game of soldiers.
I mean, with the ETC, especially the errors in banding don't really make that much difference because you can only have 1 Dark Elf army per team or 1 Lizardman army
That's
per
it,
team.
yeah.
So it's not the end of it. It's not like a normal tournament, isn't it, where everyone who's brought a vampire army gets.
Well, to be honest, I think the main teams event is probably more balanced overall than the side event would be because
yeah.
you're not skewed by, of the 100 players at tournament, you get 65 Dark Elves.
Yeah,
Was a little bit like that.
it was a bit
Well,
funny.
was it not the top 5? There was 3 Dark Elves and 2 Tomb Kings or something.
And side event, there's lizardmen. There's Greek lizardmen playing the top 3.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. Couldn't tell you the others. Anything else you chuck in before we?
Other things, there's a lot of similarities, like just the sort of social side of things. Everyone's, it is about meeting new people and hanging out with your mates, even more than it is about playing soldiers. And I think
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the social side of things, we wouldn't bother, would we, really? Because there are a few things about the game you'll admit that aren't perfect, can be frustrating, but it's the people involved that make it so worthwhile. So
Without that.
and it's much the same in Australia. You get a lot of interesting characters, shall we say. I'm sure you've met a couple of them.
Is that insert interesting characters as ass clowns?
No.
You get those also.
Okay.
But no,
Big personalities.
yeah, precisely.
People like Trent and people like Gav. I love Warhammer. Gav, I love Warhammer Cloud. What about ticket prices? I mean, that varies here a lot, but you're looking at 25 to about £30 average, I'd say.
Yeah, it's normally about
With food
30 quid
included.
with food, isn't it, for a weekend? With two meals included.
Okay, well, the food again makes quite a big difference because the exchange rate's about £2 Australian to £1
Yeah.
at the moment, I think. So again, it varies. I think the most expensive tournament you'll play in Australia is $50. So that's 25 quid.
Yeah.
But that's not including food or accommodation or anything. So all adds up obviously. But a standard price is say $35, so 18 quid.
See, how would we react in England if someone put up a 2-day tournament for 25 quid with no food?
Be fine.
There's something like that already. Cardiff Carnage is like that. That was 26 quid and there's no food.
Was it? I thought it was 18.
Might be wrong.
Started well.
Okay, I might be wrong.
I mean, seeing as the food you get at tournaments is nearly always chips and something. I mean, there's a reason that the English ETC team weighed in a lot heavier than the Australian one, and I think that might be it.
Damn right we did.
Yeah. Nice. There was something
What
else
about
I was going to ask.
standard of painting?
Much the same once again. You know, you always get a few really nice armies, and most of them middle of the road. You know, everyone's sort of putting effort into making
Yeah.
their own sort of cool little characters, like a Noblar with 2 sticks, or you know, whatever the hell else people like. But a general sort of tournament standard army, and then you get the people who are obviously just starting out or couldn't be asked. So
Yeah.
again, you get a big spread, and I think, to be honest, I mean, we're just doing UK versus Australian comparison here, but it's going to be like that everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, just curious.
Yeah, of course.
More than anything.
Okay, so onto the GT.
Oh,
Oh,
one
go
thing. One thing is, you know, you've got Fnatic Army Paint product over here,
Yeah.
also known as Dip.
Dip.
It's actually not that common in Australia.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there are obviously people with access to internet and stuff who have heard of it and bought it and used it. But over here, what ratio would you say dipped armies to normal painted armies?
I think it's only about 25% dipped.
I wouldn't
Probably
say.
I
It's
wouldn't
even
say
that.
even that. I'd probably say about 10.
I think you've probably been skewed. Your
I
view's
think-
been skewed by the people
Screaming
you've been with.
lunatics.
Yeah.
the people I've been with.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, we've just come back from Arbus's office and there must be 15 dipped armies in there.
Yeah.
Nice dipped armies.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's
It's a great product.
I don't see it as a
Anything.
negative at all. I just think it's another technique to use alongside blending and dry brushing and everything
Well, I mean,
else.
Games Workshop practically produce it themselves now with
With
Devil
washes,
and Mud.
yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with, like you've just said, you've been skewed by the present company or whatever. The thing is, because some of the prominent members of the tournament scene are dipping a lot, it gets picked up by, it filters down. If that happened in Australia, if some of the
Yeah.
prominent members of the scene started dipping a lot of armies and churning them out quick, people would see what they're doing and copy. Now, because, like you say, that it's not happening, the people who are dipping, it's not rammed down people's throats as much.
Mm.
That's, I mean,
Yeah,
that's-
that's certainly a big part of it. Yeah.
there was something else I wanted to ask, but I forgot all about it. So
You'll remember it
doesn't
later.
matter. I'll remember in a bit, halfway through your Game 6 at the GT report or whatever.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's it. So the GT, what do you think? First off, actually, what did you pair think? You've been before, you've seen it. Is it any different from the other years? Was this year smoother, worse run? What?
I think this year was smoother. We did have some technical issues and a few problems with different sets of rules being dashed about.
I think, to be honest, they do improve year on year, even if it is often only quite a small improvement.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the thing, for every sort of 3 problems they solve, another couple crop up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely improved.
I think
year on year.
I think there's an improvement this year from last. I think once the scenarios have been ironed out, maybe for next season when everything's been done once and
I thought the scenarios, maybe not in the wording, but in the actual concept of the scenarios, were much better than last year.
Yeah,
Where
they were
it just-
yeah.
Last year's scenarios just encouraged people to hide the whole armies and then grab table
Yeah.
quarters with either Furies or raised units
Yeah.
or Harpies or something similar. Whereas this year's scenarios actually encouraged more of a game.
Yeah.
And the secret missions I thought were really good.
There's been a lot of people who've said that, who said the secret missions are great.
I agree. I
Yeah.
thought the secret missions just made it a completely different gaming experience.
Yeah. But yeah, so from a refereeing point of view, it was better than it's been before. Like I said earlier about the 2.25 hours rather than 2, that made a massive difference. I
Yeah.
thought. Like I say, from running around trying to get a dozen people to stop playing and write results out to having just a couple. which again all helps with turning rounds around, quicker if you're not waiting for people. Which,
Yeah. So, what about the meta game around the armies going in and the scenarios? Did you see what you'd expect with the armies there? Because obviously the new set of scenarios have come out. Everyone's theory hammering on the net. Internet warriors are typing up the list that they think is going to smash everything.
I've got to be honest, I didn't, because we've been to that many tournaments in the run up to it. I mean, I was supposed to be playing at Heat 3. I'd have started playing about now.
Yeah.
Because we've been to other tournaments. You know what I mean? We've not had a 4-month break from one tournament to the GT.
No, it's been
So
busy.
I've not really thought about it. Everyone kept asking me that. What are you taking?
What about you, Michael? 'Cause
I
know
thought
you-
it looked pretty similar, to be honest, to last year. Dark Elves and Demons are definitely the two strong armies at 2,000 points. Especially when you add in the special characters. Demons get a big power boost. Dark Elves are arguably the best army in the game at the moment.
Didn't see a lot of Dark Elf special characters.
No, because they're very weak. That's what I mean. The Demons get a big
Overpointed,
boost.
or maybe not overpointed. Maybe
They may be
correctly
reasonable.
pointed.
They may be reasonable, whereas the Demon ones are
Underpointed.
at times
Right, yeah.
bordering on ridiculous. Vampires seemed to take a big hit.
But then there was still
But
brought.
There was
a lot
still
of
quite a
armies.
few people bringing them, but they weren't on the high tables. And I think that's because of the fact that you couldn't just spam raising and win a game on table quarters or on objectives, which you could do in the old scenarios.
What about Lizardmen?
Now, I tipped Lizardmen to win it.
I thought Lizardmen would do well as well. And you played what?
I played 2 test games, one using a stupid list, one using a normal list, a few days before the GT, because I was originally going to take some sort of lizard filth. And I got smashed in both of them. And I just thought, in fact, in the second game, I actually... Chaz and I, we were talking about what you do to get down to 2,000 points, because we thought lizards would struggle a bit. And the second game, I actually realised now I had 2 free units of pterodons because they can't add for crap. And I still got smashed, so that was great.
So you're using, 200 points more than you should have been, and you still got smashed?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes, I'm good like that. But, I just found that the Lizardmen are really quite good normally, especially under comped restriction environments, because they're harder than people give them credit for. When you play them without fault, I guess you could say, and not saying I do, but
they're a rewarding army, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you play well, you reap
if you know what
rewards.
to do in very specific situations, and you sort of can keep your head during the game, then they do reap long-term benefits. Which sounds like some sort of investment scheme. Selling insurance on
Pyramid
Bandai.
scheme.
But no, I found that the lizards just, with the introduction of special characters, and at 2,000 points where you lose that extra important unit, I say unit, Stegodon.
Yeah.
But also with the scenarios, single monsters and things like that weren't scoring units, and neither were flyers. So you're automatically, half your army isn't scoring. So all your Stegodons, all your Pterodons, your Slan, your characters, none of them are scoring. And all your scoring units then become the things you want to sacrifice.
Yeah, but
They're all toughness 2 as well.
All
aren't
toughness too.
I thought you'd be able to have enough of them to still be able to sacrifice some and use some to. I mean, look at Paul Hickey with his 3 engines, 3 Pterodons, then Skinks.
You didn't fancy 100 skinks then?
I played a game using a Slan, 2 engines, and literally 90 skinks, and it was shit. Because you just have no, I mean, you set up all these traps and things, and then you go, and now to countercharge, and you realise you have nothing that can actually fight in combat.
So you were still playing the skink army the way you'd play an old one, and you hadn't.
Well, yeah, I
Is
don't.
that part of it or not?
What else do you do with an army of skinks except play it like an army of skinks?
Shoot.
Well, yeah. There's only so much you can shoot with.
Yeah, 12-inch range, of course.
What you need to fight with that is an army of giants.
There's a lot of them running around.
You do reap well against them.
So the army's not changing much.
The demon armies, well, Ish must have just dusted off his final winning army and took that, to be honest.
Yeah,
It
I think
didn't-
he did. Did he make any changes? Banners in the horrors?
Andy Ishwood wanted to play. Actually, at the final, he didn't have the Neg 2 leadership
No,
banner.
did he have Sundry?
He had Screamers. No, he didn't have any magic banner. He had Screamers and something else, which I can't remember. But he put in the Neg 2 leadership banner, ditched the Screamers, and he had the mask as well. a couple of things like that. And he had 2 units of 6 flesh hounds originally, and Andrew Chesney was going to take a very similar list, but he kind of likes fluffy command and doesn't really play Warhammer like a human being. So yeah, it's strange to watch. But anyway, he had basically Andy Isherwood's list with a couple of little changes, and then they said to me, "Hey, we've got a third army of this list lying around. Do you want to play that?" And I went, "Oh, demons! Do I really want to sell my soul?" And I thought,
yes, I do.
Yes, I do. Well,
Excellent.
I was a little bit dejected after getting smashed with my precious lizards twice in a row. So I went, all right, we'll have a game with this. And after 2 turns against John Dale, I went, this is awesome.
So I didn't put you off.
You put me off a bit, but I just sort of accepted that. I mean, you are arguably one of the best Duck-Off players around, and using a list that...
Don't say
Cheers.
shit like that.
I said
Cheers.
I said arguably, didn't I?
Arguably.
You can debate it later.
Please, Ben, can I sandpaper my tongue so it's smoother on your ass?
Beautiful.
Well,
I've played a lot of games as Dark.
yeah, you've played a lot of games
against
with Dark Elves,
Demon Bear.
especially with that sort of list, and you know how to take apart a very low model count demon army like that one. But I ended up taking that. So what we ended up doing was convincing... I took Chez's list, which had 1 less flesh hound and standard bearer musician in both the horrors, because it looks really fun. And then we actually convinced Isherwood to take that as well.
Was it?
And he was just cursing us all weekend. He's like, oh, could have used that extra flesh hound.
Was it magical banner in the horrors? The extra
No.
No, he was just a standard
banner.
bearer and a musician.
The theory is a solo character going in.
Con.
Con. Basically.
They're quite nasty. No, that beats a ranked up 10 horrors with banner musician beats a treatment on average in combat.
We were just talking about this on the drive down, weren't we?
Can even wound it with its flaming combat attacks.
Cheeky flaming wound.
If the tree man gets all the way across the board into your horrors, you've probably lost.
What do you mean? I'm charging at him. I want that combat.
So the GT, you turned up Saturday morning with the masses. What was your initial impressions, or what was your impressions going into it?
Into the heat. To be honest, I've heard a lot of stories, as I'm sure everyone has, about the Games Workshop GT and the filth and the special characters and the cutthroat attitude to win. And like that last one is not really present. I mean, everyone's there to play competitively, much like the ETC, but there's not sort of like the stories that always come out about cheating and stalling and all this.
That's a few years ago now.
Yeah, it is, and I was really glad to see that. I came in and I played it just like a normal tournament, and it was great, still a great social site. I mean, there's a bar next door. How can you really complain?
With
Food.
good wine. With nice wine we've discovered.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Never knew
So-
that before.
Yes, turn up. I think just I really like playing the Warhammer world just because it looks like the inside of a castle. Really adds some character.
It is a
to
bit
the
good.
tournament.
We're a bit spoiled by it, aren't we,
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
Being our local
I think
sort of gaming place.
It is very true. Familiarity,
Yeah.
or even if I could say familiarity, breeds contempt,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
So your games.
Yes.
Quick brief overview of who you smashed and how you got on.
How you smashed them.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, I'll go through it quickly. I played a young guy with Wood Elves. I say young. I'm probably the youngest player going around. Well, not youngest. Used to be. Still quite young.
What?
All right. Bad dice. I'm allowed to ramble down here. Okay. So I played a guy with Wood Elves first, and that was the breakthrough scenario where you get points. You only get points for ending in your opponent's deployment zone. And I just went, how does this demon army work again? Oh, that's right, you run at stuff. So I ran at stuff, and that worked really well. Basically, I put the Bloodthirster in short range of his entire army in the first turn and went, go on, give it your best shot. Took 3 wounds from one unit of Glade Guard and went, maybe this wasn't a good idea.
That was quite a good shot.
Yeah. And then the Hail of Doom fluffed it and I went, yay! And the Bloodthirster just annihilated half his army. So that was quite fun. Ended up with most of my army in his deployment zone. He had 5 Weight Watchers just sprinting for mine. Just, we can make it. They couldn't. I could have charged it, but the Fiend of Slash just went and march blocked with us and went, Hi, boys.
Look at me.
So I ended up winning that one about 1,200 victory points to nil.
No victory points.
1,200 victory
Oh,
points.
because it's
Because it's only... I mean, I probably would have scored a lot more than that considering I took all his models off except the
I'm going
fire
to say 1,200. Surely out of your 2,000 point army, when you take away the Bloodthirster and you take away the mask, that's all of it.
Stuff died, didn't it?
He'll have got the 400 points for the mission.
Ah, right, including okay.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what mission I played there. Oh yeah, special and rare units. I got that one.
Why did you choose to play that one?
Because I was wrong, basically. And I looked at his Wood Elf army and went, you got max special, max rare. Might as well, get this one out of the way in a good matchup. And the one scenario card that special mission rather that I had real trouble every time I go to play it. I went, no, it's a bit crap. Was the one what's it called? The thing we need to end with 3 units, 3 and 5 scoring units in their deployment zone.
Oh yeah.
Oh, can't remember what it's called, but yeah.
Capture ground or something. Yeah. But I found that was the trickiest one for me to use.
So you think you should have used that first because
yes, I would recommend anyone going to the GT
Yeah.
use that one in the breakthrough scenario because you basically burn it, and you're going for that objective
Well,
anyway.
you're double bubbling, aren't you, basically?
Yeah, rather than having to do it in 2 games.
Yeah.
It gives you more flexibility later. But as it was, I ended up saving that one till last because I was just, I can't play against this army. I can't play against this army. I might not get it here. The problem with it is that you need to be unit strength 5 at the end. That's quite difficult when you don't have that many scoring units.
Yeah.
So anyway, I beat that Wood Elf player, and then I went on to play against Chris Maudsley.
What table was the Wood Elf on? Do you remember?
Random table, could have been anywhere.
Yeah, it was round 1. No, I don't remember. It was in the last row,
Right.
about 5 from the end.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
Are you going to look it up?
No, just,
Okay.
interested.
Okay. It's the
Sorry.
first round, not really
Okay, it
relevant.
doesn't really matter.
Miserable bunch of bastards, aren't you?
Just picky.
Killing the flow.
Anyway,
Chiming in with useless
So
nonsense.
after that first round win, I was up on table 6 against Chris Maudsley with a Dark Elf army, including 2 reasonable units of shades, Reigning Star Assassin, and a dragon. So that was quite exciting. And we were playing the lengthways table scenario, which I just sent up a little yay for because the Siren Song just means that in this scenario, his dragon has much less landing room, and because it's 4 foot instead of 6 foot, if he lands somewhere and then I have my Siren Song unit in the middle of the table, once I move, he either has to charge me or if he flees, he goes off the board. As it was, I ended up moving to a position where I thought the dragon might just be in range, and I thought, okay, I reckon that's just out, actually. So I didn't declare the Siren Song, and he declared the charge anyway. Half an inch out of range.
oh dear.
And then I charged it with the Bloodthirst and ate it.
Ate its face.
Did you remember the rocks falling in that one?
Yeah.
Lots of people didn't.
He deployed. I deployed my 2 fiends right near the. No, sorry. I actually thought about it and marked 6-inch points in my deployment zone with dice, so I wouldn't go near it in the first turn. And he forgot about it and put his Hydra and Harpies within 6. And I thought, I could get a lucky panic check on the Harpies, and he rolled 6s for both of them. It was great.
Excellent.
So the Hydra's limping along before he's even started anything. Yeah.
Did it take any wounds?
No, I lie.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, it didn't. But then it rolled. It panicked from the dragon getting run down. Ran 2 inches straight into the face of the demonettes.
So your Bloodthirster just went in and hit the dragon, yeah?
I charged it. He fled and I ran it down.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can remember that. I can remember watching that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the 2-inch flee for the Hydra.
Yeah.
But basically, I was from the. He had 2 bolt throwers on a hill together, and I've got 6 units to move 20 inches in my army. So I just went. They need to die. So I just went everything at him in the first turn, and he had the 2 shade units there as well. So again, I just put the Bloodthirster out and went, give it your best shot. I knew the Rending Stars were nearby in one of the shade units, so I terror bombed them both, brought up the Neg 2 leadership banner, and did the mask neg leadership on one of them, and they both failed terror. The one with the assassin ran away and stayed on the board. The other one failed and ran off the board. And then the fiends and furies and that 80s bolt throwers, and it was over very quickly after the dragon went down because you just can't fight the thirster.
See, that report there is why I'm thinking of taking the demons. Even though I know the Dark Elves I'll be better with, I just want to go, yeah!
So Demons then.
Well, we'll see.
Mr. Ruining the flow.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So game 3, which scenario card did you use in that one?
Capture the woods, because I had 2 woods in my half of the table. Because
Just left your holes in them.
it's yeah, exactly. There's such long deployment zones. Is it 24-inch deployment zones from the length side of the table? Yeah, I had 2 woods in my half of the table, so I just went horrors in that one, horrors in that one. Good luck to you, sir.
Bad man.
If you get 3, well done.
So game 3.
Game
Dizzy
3,
Heights,
I was
table
on
one?
table 1, and at this stage I was sort of looking over my shoulder to see where all my 6 teammates were doing, because we were all wearing spiffy green t-shirts. And so I'm looking over my shoulder, and who do I see walking up to my table but Andrew Chesney, playing an identical list. So we faced each other in round 3, and we joked at the start that since he'd basically told me how to use the army, and I'd seen him use the army about half a dozen times during the week, and he's just smashing people. We went to Warhammer World for a practice afternoon. This was when I had the slightly too many points Lisbon list. And that game that I played took just over an hour. That's how badly I was losing. But in that hour, Ches managed to play 2 games and smash 2 people, including walking halfway down the hall to get a new table. So yeah, he's quite good with that army. But so I ended up playing him round 3, and we joked at the start because we're both fairly competent with the list, and both knew exactly what we could try on each other, identical lists and all, that we should just put our bloodthirsters in the middle of the table and just roll dice until whoever won. As it was, that's pretty much what ended up happening anyway. I tried to be kind of sneaky. His bloodthirster was facing his own board edge, so I couldn't siren him into my unit. And then I went, aha, I'll do that, but I'll face sideways so I can still see some stuff. No, don't do that. Because his siren song can get to you. So he sirened me into, he sirened my bloodthirster into his Slaanesh Herald, a bloodthirster and a unit of hounds, which basically meant it was a thirster challenge off, but he had outnumbering bonus. As it was, I did 3 wounds to him in the first round, and he only did 1 back, which meant I won the combat.
And you leadership bombed him?
No, everything was too far away.
Oh, wow.
Or I did, and he passed the test. I don't remember. But crucially, what it meant was that I was going first in the next round.
Yeah.
And this time it was my turn to only do 1 wound. And at this point, I'm going, oh dear. He did 2 back, so his thirster was on 1 wound. My thirster was on 2 wounds left, and that meant he was going first in the next round. And I'm going, oh dear. So he struck first, got 5 hits, needs 3 to wound, only did 2 wounds. I needed to make 1 of 2 5+ board saves to live. That was tantalising, I can tell you. And I made the second one.
And then smashed him.
And then killed his bloodthirster. And popped the hounds on the massive combat res a turn later. Because mask.
Yeah.
All that. So I managed to win that one due to rolling slightly better there.
Rolling more 5s.
Rolling more 5s. The way of the demon off. And
the way of the demon army.
Yeah. And on table 2 next to us, we were sort of eyeing off because we knew whoever won there was going to be playing whoever won of us in the morning, and it was a Skaven Sard army versus an infantry demon army with Skulltaker, 2 siren songs, and 12 flamers. Oh, and 18 flesh-hounds. I say infantry.
Well, he did have 1 big block of demon.
It's like 25 demons with 2 siren songs in it.
Yeah. Which Tom Maudsley took to the Heats last year.
Yeah.
Everyone fell for.
Yeah.
It's a trick. Which
and so you guys went, Isherwood, watch out! It's a trap!
One interesting thing you say about game 3 there, about setting up your bloodthirsters facing the other way. All weekend I was, walking around and just walking past everything, and the Hydra's backwards, the dragons are backwards, the bloodthirsters are backwards. Anything that can be backwards is backwards, and it's just such a shit spectacle, to be honest. Where's he going?
Go for a pee. Carry on.
He's going for a piss. Right then, so Saturday night.
Saturday night.
You got the beer vouchers.
It's good fun. Jolly silent. Had a few drinks in Bugman's, got back to mine. Rob Downey passed out within 10 minutes of sitting down.
Nah,
Not
you're
before
telling me
ordering
here
pizza.
that Rob Downey drank a can of Carlsberg.
Well, he didn't drink a whole can.
He
fell
just drank
asleep.
some of it.
He fell asleep. He had about a third of it at the most before he fell asleep.
Rob. You wait till I see you. Can of Carlsberg, eh? What about you, Bobo?
I'll hang around Bugman's with the guys from the North.
The North.
Rob and Marcus and all that. And Rob Downey likes to get me to drink red wine.
Yes.
Ever since I went to stay at his place and ended up sleeping under a rug for some reason.
Whoa, Les.
Oh,
Slept
yeah,
under
I
a
forgot
rug.
about that.
2 nights in a
Yeah.
row.
Yeah, alright, 2 nights in a row. I found
After
it.
the
It was a
You
comfortable
got up
rug.
Saturday and were told there's quotes upstairs, and then Saturday night you still slept
No,
under the
better
rug.
than that. Saturday night, Rob's good lady Joe
Yeah.
brought a quilt down and left it at the end of the sofa, and you still slept under the rug.
I liked the rug.
Oh, bless.
So yeah, ended up hanging around Bugman's, having a few too many glasses of wine, and then actually, yeah, a few too many. And then I got a taxi back to Paul Scott's place, and smashed the taxi door in a lamp post, and gave the taxi driver a hug to say I was sorry.
Wicked.
Yeah, got into Paul's place, watched some Blade, and then realised what a bad film it is, and went to bed.
Yes.
And that was it. Bright and early for donuts on Sunday morning.
Ooh, God, that was actually quite.
We
good,
went and
wasn't
watched X Factor and ate Chinese.
It's a good night.
Yeah, it was. Just saying.
Okay, so Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, I
Now, at this point, who's up and about the top tables? What sort of armies is it? Is it just demons everywhere?
A
Or
lot of demons, a
Demons
lot
and
of
Dark
dark
Elves.
elves.
there was demons, dark elves. I think there was a guy playing Manfred there at one stage until Isherwood caught up with him and bashed his face.
Well, there
in.
was a couple of people living the dream. There was Dave Grant with his balanced tomb.
Yeah, there
He
was
just
Ben
the one
Brooks
couple.
who'd done a Leeds.
Yeah.
He was on table 3 or 4.
Ben Brooks with a beautiful Beasts
Yeah.
of Chaos army, but it was a very normal, balanced, happy, jolly Beasts
It
of
had
Chaos
a
army with
Doom
a
Bull.
giant and a Doom Bull leading it.
and
all
that
this.
was
He'd won
Craig got up
3
there by the end
games.
as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Craig with his 8 chariots,
Yeah.
Beastman.
that wasn't exactly a happy jolly doom ball this though, was it?
No, he didn't have 8 chariots.
No,
No,
that
sorry.
was
Craig
No,
Johnson.
Ben did.
No,
Ben's army was a bit of
yeah,
everything.
3 chariots and all that, and he smashed 3 people on day 1, and
Excellent.
then lost every game on day
Oh
2.
dear, didn't qualify.
Well,
I-
he did.
Qualified on painting.
You hear that so many times. People doing so well, then losing 3 on Sunday
Yeah,
and not qualifying.
qualified.
But yeah, there was a lot of demons, a few vamps, a few dark elves, a lizard or 2.
There was a few lizards, wasn't there, knocking about?
Yeah.
And like I say, Dave catching everyone out with the
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 icon of
icon.
Ricard.
icon of Rakath, yeah.
Did he not catch Ol from Odd Games, caught him out twice in the same game?
I don't know whether they
that
caught out
takes
twice
talent.
in the same, but the unit was in a wood, reformed out of the wood, and then moved. And Ollie was like, it can do that?
Can
Yeah.
do anything at once.
It's not in a wood.
Yeah, apparently he did that, and then Charles Shufford killed it, and Ollie was like, crap, I think there's the game. See what we could do to pull it back, shuffled around a bit. Next turn, Dave's like, do, 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 and Ollie was like, that's not one you told me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Andy Isherwood had someone ask him if Siren Song was once per turn.
I had somebody on table 6 in the last game wanting to do Siren Song in his opponent's magic phase,
Oh, that's good.
which was
I like
nice.
that.
Why?
Because
because he'd forgotten.
no, because the guy was casting a movement spell.
Oh, very sneaky. But no.
But no, no. Well, a lot of zombie dragon questions as well.
Why did people play them?
From the same guy?
The thing is, he kept coming to a different referee, so we all kept saying, "Oh, this guy's asked me about this zombie dragon. This guy's asked me about zombie dragon," and it's the same dude wanting to charge a zombie dragon 360, wanting to know when his zombie dragon's supposed to charge and it's 2.5 foot away.
You know what? The trick to using a zombie dragon though, is just to give its rear to Chaos Knights. Works every time.
Worked for me.
Excellent.
Anyway, game 4.
Game 4.
Game 4, I was playing as mentioned against the 12 Flamer army who stomped the Skaven. The Skaven guy was going, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that." Yeah, you can. It's called Demons. It's called. Here's the rulebook you use. Here's the rulebook I use. It's about a third of the size. But But yes, I was playing against a guy with 12 flamers, and again, I had to have the Bloodthirster facing interesting angles due to 2 Siren Songs and a massive combat res block. We've had the three of us, Andy, Chez, and I, and Michael. Actually, we've been discussing flamers and the worth of flamers a bit in the last week, and they're one of these infamous units, I guess you could say, in that they have a really bad reputation and everyone hates to play against them because they just move up the field and blow stuff away. In theory, what's your evaluation on these days, Michael?
The more I use them, the more I think I can do without them. They're not that great. They roll a lot of dice. That's why people don't like them, I think.
They're quite impressive, aren't they?
Oh, you get to roll bucketfuls of dice, but at the end of the day, they don't actually do a lot of time. You know, you get the odd time. They're good at dealing with hydras and things because of the flaming attacks.
And the large target bonus.
But they're only strength 4. I mean, a lot of the time, actually, shooting wise, you'd rather have a unit of Outriders. I mean, yeah, the Outriders die a lot easier, but actually for the damage they can do when they shoot.
I think is it Rob Downey's been using 3, which I think is quite.
Yeah, maybe just a little unit
nice
to keep characters on it. Obviously.
Yeah, it's not a massive amount of points either. Or I mean, the guy we were just talking about now with 12. I mean, that makes a fucking hole in the world, doesn't it? 12 shooting the same thing.
It does, but at the same time,
It's 400 points.
It may not be enough. I mean, Michael had been thinking of dropping his for another unit of Fleshhounds, which you know are awesome.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, the Fleshhounds do have a the Flamers do have a role in the army, but ultimately, I think they're much like a gold-plated Volkswagen Beetle. They look really great, but once you put it on the road, still a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah. Is this
But
in
it's
your
made of
Kairos
gold.
list you're talking about this?
Sorry?
You thinking of dropping them out of the Kairos list?
No.
In your
No,
team?
not in that.
Too much of a haul for that.
That list's too much about dicking about. That's not
Yeah.
a proper demon list. That doesn't actually get into
You
combat.
talk about your Herald army.
I'm talking about the Herald army. I think I'm very tempted to dropping him for a Beast of Nurgle, just a single Beast of Nurgle,
Yeah.
and then spending the other points elsewhere.
Yeah.
To be honest, the double fiend as well, the double single feed is just
A
so
lot
good.
of places you can't take that though.
Yes, that's true.
We had a lot of people actually come up to us over the weekend and go, you've got no flamers, you got 2 single fiends, only 2 units of Fleshhounds. You know, that list isn't very bad, you know, not very offensive. And we're sort of like, cheers, idiot. No, I mean, it's quite a strong army overall. It can do a lot of things, and it's got very few bad matchups. Itself is one of the bad matchups. But yes, anyway, I played against a 12 flamer guy. He stuck 12 flamers in one piece of difficult terrain, and I went, oh dear. So I ran 2 units of Fleshhounds at it just to see what would happen.
What scenario was it? This was the funky deployment, wasn't it? Roll
This
for
was
each.
random deployment, yes.
Yeah.
Which didn't really make a big difference because my army's so fast and his army he's just got multiple units of everything.
Yeah.
So it only thing it did make a difference with was one of his siren characters started out of the unit.
Yeah.
But I don't have any ranged attacks, so it didn't make a difference. But yeah, so I ran 2 units of Fleshhounds up to his flamers. He went, and most of the Fleshhound unit disappeared.
Yeah.
The remaining 2 charged in and chomped the unit for the rest of the game. But the Bloodthirster was having to face away, ended up killing 2 units of Fleshhounds in coordination with my Corn Herald, who was a beast. Skull Taker got Siren Songed into my 10 demonettes and died.
Get challenged by the champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then next turn popped because he lost.
Yeah.
The fool.
Oh dear. And then what happened?
Well, with the Bloodthirster...
Was there a slight error somewhere?
Well, I don't know if we should talk about that one too much, but
Fair
yeah,
enough.
we had a bit of a miscommunication, which caused the game to end rather prematurely. But we played. It was a bit of an interesting situation, which I think we resolved in the
Don't
best.
want to talk about it. Don't talk about it. We'll
Yeah,
skip
yeah.
on.
Well, kind of have to now, don't we?
No, not at
No.
all. Sorry, viewers, listeners.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you about it because it's not really dodgy or anything. It was just basically he had 2 Siren Songs. In the first turn, he used one of them to kill one of my Fleshhound units, which was fine. And then I did use all my remaining flesh hounds to attack his BSB, who I thought hadn't used the siren song. I thought he declared the other one, and I was quite positive he declared the other one. And then in turn 4, I thought, all right, cool, no siren song left. Bloodthirster starts flying around again. He moves his unit up with the herald, who I thought had used the siren song, and goes, siren song. And I went, you don't have one. And he said, yes I do. And I went, no, you used it. So we had about a 40 minutes discussion about what we could do, because we couldn't really agree on whether or not he had used the siren song from that herald, because the other one was obviously dead. And we came to a reasonable solution where we sort of just cancelled each other out, and neither of those units could score points in that turn. And you were the ref who was there looking at that game, and you thought that was the most reasonable
You
solution.
didn't fancy a 4+.
No, neither of us was really happy at a 4+,
the
because
problem
it was
with 4+ was the way the game was set. Whoever won the roll was going to massacre the other.
Yeah.
and the way we played, we didn't really feel either of us deserved that.
No.
Okay.
But they came to a solution themselves, which is a lot better, because all I could have done if they'd have asked was say, right, 4+ then, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was really pleased that you were there to sort of mediate the whole thing. I mean, we were getting on really fine.
Oh yeah, there was no issue.
It wasn't
at
bitter
all.
or anything. And
No.
I'm really glad we resolved it the way we did. You know, we had a laugh and a
Yeah.
drink and that after the game. So it was all resolved really well. But I was just glad there was someone sort of there to oversee it, and it didn't seem underhanded or anything, because it was just one of those odd situations. It's unfortunate that it happens at all. And
So your flesh hounds, you could have attacked either herald,
yes,
and
and
you chose to attack the one that.
I was always going to go for the one that
Yeah.
still had the siren song,
Yeah.
because that gives my bloodthirster so much more flexibility.
I think there's a lesson to be learned there, isn't
Yeah.
there?
Write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
I was just setting you up.
Ben's favourite comment. Write it down.
Yeah, write it down.
That's
Absolutely.
So you won that one in the end.
I managed to win that one, yes.
It wasn't. It was only just, wasn't it?
It was only just I managed to win that. And as it turned out, the whole siren song thing may not have made a difference anyway. As it was basically, I said to him, all right, let's say you still have a siren song, my bloodthirster's not facing that unit of flamers now, I would have gone to contest a quarter instead. He said, yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that solution, because you would have done that anyway. So we ended up resolving that, and I won by 600 points or something, which was enough to give me the win. Then we moved on to round 5, and I played against the Dark Elf army, which had massacred fellow Globo Gym member Joe Sturge the day before. Singe Frost with 2 cauldrons and 2 hydras and blackguard and rending stars and 30 crossbowmen. So that was rather interesting. And so we had a big hill sort of on the right side of the table, away from where the main battle was going to take place. And this was another scenario. This was table quarters. So again, nothing was worth victory points except quarters and secret missions. So I went, all right, let's have at you. First turn, everything at you. And we had 2 hydras facing backwards. Whee!
See, it's just such a shit style. You look down the row, and there's a bloodthirster, there's a dragon, there's hydras, there's this, there's that, and it's all backwards. It looks ridiculous. But hey ho.
It's not all.
No,
It is all wow. It's brilliant.
It just looks so comical, especially when you look down a row
You
and
see
you
it all.
see all of them. You see 6 tables of stuff backwards.
Yeah.
It's ever so funny. But anyway,
But in this scenario, I had 2 cards left, 2 mission cards, and one of them was get stuff into their deployment zone, which we talked about already, and the other one was kill their most expensive unit for an additional 400 victory points. And his most expensive unit was Blackguard.
Right in the middle of the board, not going anywhere,
Yeah.
static.
Well, he had him behind a unit of crossbowmen, so I couldn't fit my bloodthirster in straight away. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I'll still get to them because I'm going to run it in and kill what I can.
yeah.
So I did that. I used that mission card, and so his Blackguard were in the middle. He had 2 units of shades off to the side, and I knew he had an assassin. So I flew my bloodthirster more than 17 inches from the shades, so that the assassin couldn't pop out of the shades, move onto the hill, and then rending star me. Unfortunately, the assassin then popped out of the Blackguard.
Cunning.
Yeah, but I got a bit of a lucky break, and the rending stars didn't win me, which he wasn't
So-
too pleased about.
What was Singer's other characters?
He had the 2 cauldrons, mounted BSB pendant dude, and the assassin.
So would you pile everything to the front of the Blackguard if you assuming there's an assassin, strike first, BSB, pendant,
I did.
and
No,
you'd still go for
the
that?
BSB was out of a unit,
Oh, okay.
and I
BSB on a horse.
told one.
A cold one.
So would you
So
you
you
do
go
that if
against
as soon
vehicles.
as it's in the Blackguard? Would you still pile him with it all? thinking there's a pendant there that could
Too hard to
challenge.
say. Too hard to say. But basically, I didn't want to send the Thirster into the Blackguard until I had another character there as well to take the challenge.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up happening. I managed to get the Khorne Herald through a unit of crossbows into the flank of the Blackguard, and then the Thirster came around and went, "Hello, hello, my little friend." And I went through them in about 3 rounds because that ward save is annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, the 5 up.
Don't you hate units with ward saves?
Yeah. See again, who can roll for more 5s?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I managed to, despite a very shaky situation at the end where I charged a unit of Shades and they fled into my table quarter, which was worth 300 victory points, and then rallied, and I went, crap, I may have just lost the game. And I actually had on table quarters, but thanks to the old secret mission card, and I'd annihilated that card, I won by 400.
Aces.
Excellent. So that set you up for round 6.
Round
again?
6, and again, I've been looking over my shoulder because playing on table 1 for 4 rounds now. Looked over my shoulder to see how my teammates were doing, who was creeping up behind me, and who should walk up but Andy Isherwood, using the exact same demon list
So
again.
on table 1, there was you and Ish both on 2 wins with the same army.
No, yeah, that's a good point actually.
There was Marcus on 5 wins
Yes.
with Dark
Dark
Elf,
Elf,
Dragon
Dragon,
Shooting.
Shades.
Yep.
What would
There
you have rather faced? Because obviously Andy and Marcus were on 5 wins.
The Dark Elves.
You'd have rather
But
faced
Andy
them.
had-
Because simply for the fact that Andy Isherwood invented this demon list. He's played with it for 18 months now, and
Yeah.
it's just a toying cost. Whereas at least the Dark Elves, I can at least play a game and hope to come out on top.
Yeah.
So you had them 3 on 5 wins. You had Bob on 4 wins and a draw with Demon Army that wasn't a million miles away. So Bob on table 2.
Table 3 was
Table 3 was
Axel.
Axel, who finished 3rd versus the Demon Infantry army that you played earlier. Table 4 was Paul Hickey with his 3 engines versus Chaz with the same Demon
So
army.
it's all Dark Elves, Demons and 1 Lizard.
Yeah, then it was Singe versus Craig with his beasts.
So Beast Army put
On
in
table
showing
5,
it.
yeah. And then it was Dave Grant versus Bruno, Tomb Kings with Demons on table 6.
So you and Isherwood, you didn't fancy it.
Well, I knew he won the final with practically
Same.
that army, so I mean that gives him a bit of a reputation for knowing what he's doing, and also he's quite an experienced player, and with identical lists, it's really anyone's game. And at this stage, I felt like I'd earned the win of the GT, smashing people on table 1 all weekend, and
Yeah.
I was mentally knackered,
Yeah.
and I'm going into it thinking, why do I have to play my own army again with the guy who invented it?
No swapsies at the GT.
No, as we discovered earlier, you bastards.
Made the call.
No, it's fair enough. Yes, so Isherwood and I played, and basically we knew that as long as we didn't draw or have a very low scoring win between us, we were playing off for first overall.
Yes.
And the guys on the table beside us, Marcus and Rob, they were playing off for second overall. And whoever lost out of both those games was probably going to
Maybe
top 10,
Top 10, yeah.
but not anywhere near the podium. As it was, Marcus beat Rob due to
Yes.
incredible-
Rob, I think, was very unlucky.
10 Shades,
10 Shades
killing
Blood
one man.
Thirster that was going to then move back and Siren Song of the Dragon in, and Marcus had not seen it at all. But hey ho. And I think Rob finished 13th, was it?
Yeah, something like
No,
that.
Rob was top 10. In
Was he
fact,
top-
it might have
Can't
been
be
top
that
5.
low.
No, it was not top 5.
Yeah, because he was
Okay.
4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss.
Oh, did he draw?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
There was only Bobo, Ish, and Marcus on 5
He wasn't
wins.
top 10, I don't think.
No, I think it was 13, 12,
I
13.
think it was
something
11th
like
or
that.
13th,
Yeah,
something like that.
so
So yes, myself against Andy Isherwood, and as it turned out, we both had the same scenario card left, so we were both trying to go for each other, and
what card was that?
Deployment.
get scoring units into the enemy deployment zone. So we were talking a bit about it before the game, about how the army mashed up against itself, and how we're expecting to play and stuff like that. Yeah, but mates on table 1, of course,
Yeah.
are going to talk nonsense. And he won the roll for the first turn, and we sort of had a bit of a theoretical discussion about whether or not he should take it, whether or not it's more advantageous to take it or not. And he did take it, and in hindsight, I think going second is better.
Yeah,
Because-
because of the scenario he's playing.
Well, no, not just for that. It was basically what happened was he moved his army up with the Thirster facing backwards once again. I moved my army up, but I didn't even move that far because he was already there. But what it meant I could do was, because we then knew we were going to fight in my half of the table, my Thirster could go up, still facing backwards, and see where all the combats were going to be happening. So if he charged in, I could counter-charge him, whereas his Bloodthirster was looking at nothing. The game really became a different game though. He made a big mistake, which I'm sure he'll admit to, by leaving his Siren Song character for no apparent reason, which he'll also admit, in charge range of one of my Fiends in the first turn.
Yeah.
And I just sort of looked at it and went, okay, I've got to go for that. So the Fiend went in, didn't die on the strike first attacks, and just managed to chop the Siren Song Herald. And from that moment, just boom, Isherwood.
Bloodthirst turns around.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, basically my Thirster can then look anywhere it wants, and his entire army just went on complete suicidally aggressive, because
That's all he's got then, isn't it?
well, his thinking was, if I chuck everything at you and it backfires, that's right, I've already lost the game. So, but if I do get, he had to throw everything at me, and hope that things evened out in one place or another, and he could start to press an advantage. As it was, I outlucked the enemy demon army again. So.
Could be honest, well, I was doing a bit of a wander and I came back just as you'd killed the Herald, and your face was like, really?
I was doing a lot of deep breathing during
you
that
were.
game.
I was like, what's happening? What's happening? Just killed his Siren Song. It's like, whoa, that's that's funny.
Oh dear.
Yes, I can still feel that pressure. Like, I was knackered. After 4 rounds on table 1, I was just ready to sleep.
So that was it. First place.
Yes, I managed to win in the end there. It was still a very hard fought game, but again, everything the dice went my way in the important combats and that. Despite a couple of minor upsets, and managed to get out on top. So, and I achieved my final scenario, which I thought wasn't going to be possible. So I was pleased with that.
So how many of them did you get?
The scenario cards.
Was it 5 out of 6?
I think it was 5 out of 6 or 4 out of 6. I honestly can't remember.
Who won the Master Tactician Award?
Ches and somebody else. There's 2.
Both got 6 out of 6.
I think- Is that the highest?
The
That's
person who got the most
missions.
scenario cards right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was Ches, Marcus, and I believe was it the Dark Elf guy that Ches played against and won the overall victory points award.
What, Axel?
Don't know.
I didn't think they give out a... Did they give out a best general? Can't remember that.
Not a clue.
No,
Didn't think they did.
I didn't see any.
the most
reference to it
victory
on the net.
points. Yeah, there was a most victory points award.
So overall, was you?
Yep.
First place. Where's your trophy?
At the office.
You've left it at Alibis, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Second place, Marcus Pitt.
Marcus and Mesh
Using
was
Mad
table
Elf Army.
Yeah.
He just picked it up and used it like his high elves.
Yeah.
So he said to me
Yeah.
that it was better.
And then third was Axel. I can't remember his second
Ryder.
name.
Another Dark Elf Army. He's from Holland.
Yeah.
Excellent. He had what? Just a dragon.
No, Wizard on a Peg, I believe.
Level 4, level 2, and a BSB 1 2.
Yeah.
That was it. And then a lot of shooting. 3
Yeah.
dark value units. Okay. Top 10 was 5 and 5 demons and dark elves. So
And I'm pleased to report that all 3 of the Globogen special Bloodthirster armies that we had came at 1st, 4th, and 6th, despite having to play each other.
excellent.
And
So it only lost to itself.
it played 18 games and only lost to itself.
Yeah. Ches in the last game, because Ches came 4th, didn't he?
Yes.
Played Paul Hickey, the 3 engines, 3 Pterodons,
Army
Skinks.
Yeah.
And 6 units of Skinks failed Terror Test, failed Panic Test in the same turn.
Ooh.
He'd lined him up for it though.
Oh, that'd be horrible because it's a -2 leadership, so it's 4.
I don't think they were on -2 leadership.
Oh,
I
They-
think
they must have been.
I
A
think
few of them would have been.
I think he shoved
Were
the flesh hand unit with that in its face just in the first turn.
Oh right, okay. But even so, 6 4s on 3 dice.
Well, yeah.
Well, it obviously happened.
Yeah, of course it does.
But yeah, Paul's face was quite a picture.
Yes, they were in the bar for like half an hour into the round.
It was.
So, what was your opinion of the GT after it's done?
Well, I obviously really enjoyed it. No, I mean, I think that, as we said before, I think the scenario cards really, the special missions really make a different game of Warhammer. And
Yeah.
because you only need 300 points for a win, there's no sort of category as a win. It's just win.
Yeah.
They really do make a difference. If you don't play the special missions, you're in a lot of trouble. In fact, you might not win a game if you just pretend they're not there.
Interesting. So, from what you saw at Heat 1, Bigsy, what do you think for Heat 2? Kairos, or are you having second thoughts?
No, I think I'm going to take Kairos. I like Kairos, purely as I say.
Silly Hammer once a year.
It's just get it out of your system.
Once a year, but I mean, I don't think it's I mean, I think it is better, but not massively better than that Bloodthirster list. The thing I quite like about Kairos is I've never played a game with him where I thought, yes, I've done everything right. Whereas I've done that with other armies I've played with. With Kairos, because there's so many options, I want to play one game with him where I think, yeah, I got that.
You're after that perfect game.
I want to get it spot on, which, you know, as I say, he's such a strong character that against a lot of armies it's irrelevant whether you play it perfectly or whether you only get sort of 7 out of 10 decisions right.
You like Patrick Swayze at Point Break?
Yes.
What perfect wave.
Yeah, without the cancer.
Do you think the blue scrabs are essential in the list?
No.
How about swapping it for Skull Taker on foot?
There's so many options that it could be worth it.
Like I say, the blue scribes really came
I'd
to
like-
their own against the undead, didn't they?
Yeah,
Which
and the
does
undead
not
you're not going to be
really-
facing as much. I'd like to fit in a Khorne Herald on a Juggernaut, but it's a
Mine's too
lot
bad.
of points on characters then.
Yeah.
Um,
What about the mask?
the mask is very good.
It's a straight swap, isn't it?
I'm not sure she does as much for that army.
How about... because it's the
I mean,
Teletext.
she's not bad,
She's not awful.
but it's not quite the same synergy.
How about
No.
Kairos on his own as your own spellcaster? Other than your tunes horrors.
I like the Tzeentch Herald.
I mean, I played Michael the other night, as mentioned, and I think the Tzeentch Herald does add a lot with that Master of Sorcery. It gives you the option to cast with the other head of Kairos, while the Tzeentch Herald has heavens and just sits at the back. Or
Beast
to
Cowls.
double up. Yeah, Beast Cowls again, because it basically doesn't force you to cast with a certain head of Kairos every turn. And, you know, more magic is always good.
Is there anything anyone wants to add about the GT before we move on?
Anyone going to the GT, typed army list, painted movement trays.
Right, yeah, this is a good point. Typed army list. What's this army roster thing I've been reading about on the net?
There's an army roster which I believe you can download from the Games Workshop website.
Okay.
Could be wrong with that, but as long as it's typed,
Might be an idea to put it on your website.
that's
If
a
someone
very
could
good
send
idea.
it me, I mean, this will be going up Sunday is it 18th, 19th
Something
this
like
weekend. It might be up Saturday, don't know. Send it in and I'll get it up in time for the next episode, which will be before Heat 2.
Yeah. As long as it's typed, I mean, there's a few people that did it on Excel, which is, I think, is fine.
So you won't accept an army builder?
Army Builder's
Army
acceptable.
builders should be fine, yeah, because
Excellent.
it's purely so that we can go through them.
You
Ideally,
don't
in
have to
the,
decipher the handwriting.
well, the thing is, there's 150 army lists, and obviously you get 10-point penalty if you've got an illegal list. Now, illegal list can be, you know, missing out a point for a shield somewhere, you know, which everyone's done. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But obviously, if we can get them all done in the first round, it's less penalties.
penalties.
And it also stops if there's two people with illegal lists, one at the bottom, one at the top, the one at the bottom, just because it's at the bottom, gets maybe 2 or 3 penalties, which, yes, they shouldn't have an illegal list in the first place, but it makes it fair.
Yeah.
And obviously, if we've then got to decipher handwriting, especially foreign handwriting, it big mess. So
You don't like the foreign.
I was just
not trying to pick on the foreign, but you know, handwriting at the best of times is difficult. Let alone, you know, if they're writing half of it in a different language.
okay.
So, and
Well-
painting movement trays.
Painting movement trays.
Painting movement trays.
Anything that's not skirmish on a movement tray.
Aye.
Just play Skirmish Army. Make it easy
Might
for
be
everyone.
easy, yeah.
Yeah.
Skinks.
Don't need a movement tray for them. Let you off with that.
Okay, so I think that's enough for the GT coverage. We'll have another short break and then we'll be back with a quick chat about our boys and then a wrap up. Are you an event organiser? Or do you run a gaming club? Or do you just want to shout at your mates on a podcast? Head on over to baddice.co.uk and go to the Sponsor Us section of the website. Click the donate button and for just £5 you can dedicate an episode to whatever you like. Sponsoring an episode helps us make the podcast better for you guys. So what are you waiting for? Get yourself over to baddice.co.uk and sponsor an episode today. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, I was sent an email from Jason Justice of the Miscast podcast. Now, what it was, he was going to the Hard Boys tournament in America. Wait, you laughing at his name?
Yeah.
He's got a superhero name.
It's a brilliant name.
We've told him about this already. He's got an awesome name. Much too good to be podcasting about Warhammer. We should be out saving grannies and stuff like that, kissing hands and shaking babies. And so he emails me, says, I'm borrowing an army to go to the Hard Boys tournament. What do you think? And he sent me an email, some demon stuff, and I thought, I could make that a bit harder. And I thought, that's a good segment for the show. We'll have a chat about that. So basically, for anyone that doesn't know, the Hard Boys is the USA equivalent of the GT. It's 3,000 points, no comp, special characters and all. And not only is it no comp, you're also encouraged to bring the hottest filthy cat and smash fuck out of each other. I think they chuck in some scenarios and things like that, same as they do over here. But essentially, it's hero hammer, smashing people with your characters. I've asked you guys to have a think about what you'll take. So I think we'll start with Biggs and Bobo. I think you two have come to the same decision, really, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I couldn't really see past at 3,000 points taking Kairos Fate Weaver as your general with a Bloodthirster to unseen Lurker into anything you can see, the Mask to drop its leadership, the Blue Scribes to nick power dice, and a Khorne Herald on a Juggernaut with the -2 leadership banner to wreck things. And then, that's a hell of a lot of points you're spending there on characters, but you've got enough points to get yourself some horrors, some fiends to get in the way, and some furies to take out one machines.
The army that Bobo took to the heat with
my army's characters tacked onto it, basically.
Yeah.
Well, this way, at 3,000 points, you don't have to choose, do you? You can have both.
Have both, yeah. No, that's about.
Oh, look, some cake, and I can eat it too.
And as I say, when you can beast cows things with Kairos, so the Bloodthirster can charge them, including Sirens on Heralds, so the Bloodthirster doesn't have to worry about them so much.
Is the Lore of Beasts on the same head as the Lore of Shadows?
Yes.
That's
so you can
naughty.
beast cows things, you can unseen Lurker, you can Steed of Shadows the Mask about.
Would you have Skull Taker in there as well, on foot?
I think you might start struggling on points,
Or character
even
slots.
at 3,000 points. But
Would you not be tempted with 18 flamers? Just
as
running
I
around
said,
in a... What would a group of... Would it be a murder of flamers?
Or an army.
An army, yeah. Or
Would it
a
be-
gaggle.
Shouldn't it be a
Fucking
forum
horrible.
of
A
flamers?
forum, yes.
Well, that's a good
forum
one.
would
Yeah,
be
I like
good,
that.
yeah.
Four of Flamers. That is good.
What did you come up with then, Ben?
Well, I wrote a list and emailed it to myself, and then it didn't arise on my phone.
I don't think you wrote it.
I
think
did,
you lied.
honest.
2 episodes in a row.
It was Beastman Army.
You thought Beastman?
Well, I
How
thought.
many chariots can you get in 3,000 points?
Well, I thought that, and then I thought, no, I'd put some other stuff in there as well. So it was a
Why? Why did you think that?
It was a Beast Lord on a chariot with the Blackmore
Frenzy.
What else has he got? The
I don't know.
Monsters Carnitim thing. What's that called?
Really
Really
Bruiser
True
True Beast. Couple of Slaanesh wizards for the stupid Slaanesh magic. I think 7 2-inch chariots for the extra dice, and then 11 regular undivided chariots.
No, 19 chariots, that's not bad.
Yeah, and then 2 Wargors on chariots as well, and then then 2 herds.
So it's
just
21 chariots.
yeah, 2 herds just to Well,
Where do you
Beastman
put,
Army.
how many wizards did you have?
I think
5, wasn't it?
3
3?
Where
Where do you put them?
In the herds.
in the woods.
Okay.
Anyway, you want.
Oh, they're Slaanesh, aren't they? So they don't run. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Okay, so
Well, I figured that'd be pretty tasty.
to the leadership bomb comes again.
Yeah, the leadership bomb could be a problem because
Or Bloodthirster lands at the side of all your chariots, and then Kairos Unseen lurks him, and he's got 20-inch enemy in the way through lots of chariots.
yeah, okay, that again, that could be tricky. But I'm thinking, wave after wave of chariot. Bloodthirst can't be everywhere.
Are they played on 6x4 tables?
Yeah.
I think the
Jesus.
Dark Elves would struggle actually. The more models you get on the table, the harder it is for them to get out of the way.
Well, this is what I thought. So this is why I wrote a Dark Elf list, and I thought, well, you might struggle, but if you've got 2 black dragons, Don't really matter if you're struggling a lot. So make a bow strength 7, one with Hydra Blade, potion strength, and I've wrote the pendant here on this one, but I think I've changed my list, so you wouldn't have the pendant. So basically, the bow strength 7, one with a Hydra Blade, potion strength, the other one with a Kaldor's Bane and Ring of Hotep on him. And then I've got a couple of heroes, one with a pendant and Sword of Might, another one with Immune to Psych and Crimson Death, and then a sorceress with 2 scrolls. Looking at it now as I'm reading it, you could do a third hero as well with a magic resistance 3, because then all your heroes can go in your 20 shades with an assassin, Rending Stars, and then your core is 4 units of 10 crossbowmen with an assassin each with Rending Stars. Then for turn 1, all the assassins move into the shade unit. So your shade's got magic resistance 3, a Ring of Hotep dragon stood behind it. One of your masters have got hand bows, so anything charging it, the whole unit shoots when they get 8 inches away. So everything shoots at short range.
They'll do that anyway if you've got Rending Stars in there.
No, because it'd be 12 inches away.
Well, that's half range.
Not for all of the
Not for
unit.
all. Then you've
Forgot
got
about
five Rending Star assassins in there as well. So I don't see how anything.
Do you need 5,
Well,
really?
no, you don't. But same.
Yeah, you do.
Fun.
If you're playing against 2 large type flyers a game, why not?
Yeah, but only one of them can charge you.
You don't need 5, but
Why wouldn't
it's
you?
good.
It's
It's good to
our
just
boys.
say once I've killed you with the first 3, I have 2 left over.
Yeah, I
just to be an
suppose.
arse.
Yeah.
And surely it's the hard boys tournament. It's not about need, is it? You
No, I
need,
suppose
you don't need
I'd like
Kairos
to-
and a Bloodthirster, but you
I'd
can.
like
so
to
why not?
use it. But what I'm thinking is the two dragons. Yeah, they just sit behind the shades and sort of come
Are
anywhere
they
near me.
crossbowmen or spearmen that you've got there?
I think they will cross. No, looking at the points, they'll be spearmen.
Yeah, I was going to say you
Oh
must
yeah,
all
it's
those.
spearmen. So it's 4 units of 10 spearmen with assassins in. You could probably get into crossbows by making a few chops and changes, but it's all about the shades and the dragons, to be honest.
I was going to say, do you not have the always strike first banner in that shade star?
You don't really need it with a 5 assassin.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Because if
They
the
make your
Bloodthirster-
front rank up.
if the Bloodthirster comes in, he's going to challenge because you don't want everything hitting him.
Hang on. If the Bloodthirster comes in, he's gonna die.
But the
Well,
thing
not
is,
He's
he can,
unseen
he can,
lurking
he
in.
can
like
land-
Kairos
That's
Fate
true,
Weaver.
yeah. That's
thing
true.
is,
Short
if he-
range.
no, yeah, that's it. If he's within half range to stop you standing firing,
Yeah.
he's out of the. If he's within ring range.
Only
Yeah.
if you're because he can move within 12 inches, 10 inches of the
Yeah,
unit,
it
not
depends.
12 inches of the
Except
ring.
you got the Ring of Hotep on a dragon.
On a
don't you?
dragon. I could
And wouldn't you
possibly.
have to take a terror test as well? Do you have the pearls?
Yeah, he's got the
Pearls
pearls.
are in there, yeah.
First item you buy.
So you'd have to charge a siren song.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Well, it could be pretty awful when on turn 6 you have to charge a siren song, run off the board because of hatred, and you can't take any quarters or anything
Or
like
what you
that.
can actually do is you can siren song you in. You have a one wide line of horrors standing behind.
So the shades go back
you-
for miles.
Yeah, and then the thirster and a jugger coming to your flank, and
Your flank was about that long.
Yeah.
and obviously avoiding all the assassins.
Yeah. Or if someone's really clever, they could have a unit of demonettes like a mile wide, and then you siren song them in, so they have to spread out that wide that you get to butcher a shades.
Yeah, the ones in the middle get killed off by the
But I
assassins.
think I'd really enjoy using this. I think it'd be even gayer than what I already use. Now what I'm thinking is we should run a tournament sometime in the new year, Odd Boys style, down at Derby.
I think you should call it Arse Boys and just take
Yeah.
the nastiest list
Yeah.
as you can.
Evil shit, and if you whine, we'll get hard to take you outside and beat you.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you're doing at this year's event?
Yes.
No, we just wrote scenarios for that. That sorts them out.
Yeah, so the crazy scenarios for Derby, I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah.
It's going to be mental. So that's the Odd Boys. Now, I do fancy that.
I think we do that. March time.
I can see Big's got a
Dice
twinkle in
Presents.
his eye thinking about Kairos and
I might
Bloodthirster.
actually do a Bloodthirst for my army for once.
Yeah, just for that.
Just for that.
Yeah, how about a Kairos and a Lord of Change?
How about 2 Bloodthirsters?
Yeah, that would be good.
No, not
Or,
as good
no,
as Kairos.
how about Scarbrand and a Bloodthirster? Because Scarbrand would give you... Oh, he's got hatred. You could give him hatred,
have 2
and you could have
Bloodthirsters.
awesome strength and hatred.
So you can have a strength 10.
But you can duplicate them, can't you? So you can have 2 Bloodthirsters with the
Kitting exactly the
rerolls.
same.
You can have 2.
And then 4 Zinch Heralds with flying and wolf hunts. Oh, except you can't cast it on them.
No.
Ignore me.
Just have to cast it on your 6 unit of flesh hands.
So sad.
See, if you want to be nice, you could do a fluffy corn themed army. And like you say,
Or you could
go,
not.
you could go the fluffy route and I'll have 2 bloodthirsters and 6 units of flesh hounds.
It's themed.
Fluffy.
It's themed. What? 4 units of 10 bloodletters deployed at the back of
Yeah,
your horse.
Yeah.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
One in a long line, another one in a long line, another one in a long line.
Yeah.
No problem.
So that's the Odd Boys. I think that's also the episode. So before we sign off, just a few things to plug. Odd Games are sponsors. Check them out. And remember, they've got the competition, the 2 competitions.
2 competitions.
Painting competition on the forums, and if you sign up to the Snake House section or spend any money in the shop, more than a £5, you get entered in to win the realm of, was it Chaos in the Old World? That's it. Why do I keep saying Realms of Chaos?
Do you have a shop?
Bad Dice? No, it's the Odd Games shop.
Oh, okay.
Pay attention, fool.
But you started talking about bad dice.
We do have a bit of a
Isn't
shop.
it www.oddgames.com?
Co.uk.
.co.uk.
Yeah, so check them out.
Nearly got it right.
If you order from the UK, you get free postage. I think they can post worldwide as well. Check out Irresistible Force rankings. Them guys do the ranking system for us.
It's getting squeaky bum time now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's baddice.co.uk/rankings or irresistibleforce.co.uk. And
Should we also mention the new number 1? Now Mr. Curry's been
Yeah.
dethroned.
Heat 1, by default of me attending Heat 1 last year, Heat 2 this year. Tom Maudsley is the new number 1, so congratulations
Yeah,
to Tom.
well done, Tom.
There's a lot of changes in the top 60 or top 15 for the Masters invitations. A lot of changes after Heat 1. Notably Ben dropping down to 20th. So might be struggling to make it, dude.
Very.
Yeah, we'll see. Anything else?
It's not the end of the world. I've got a massive cock.
Yeah, you think. Other things to plug. Check us out on Twitter. We're always on there. Facebook. What else?
That's about it, isn't it?
Yeah. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again another episode before Heat 2. And thanks to these pair for coming and having a chat to us for the past hour and a half.
Pleasure as always.
Thank you.
And well done for Bobo.
Thank
Heat
you.
1 GT winner. Good boy. See if me or Biggs can do the
Emulate.
same at Heat 2. See you later.
Ciao.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by Ben and Ben Productions. If you actually enjoyed the show and feel the need to tell other people about it, you can leave a positive review on iTunes. You can contact both your hosts at thebens@baddice.co.uk, or you can contact us individually on Ben Curry at baddice.co.uk or Ben Johnson at baddice.co.uk. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Bad Dice Podcast.
So, Ben,
Michael.
what do pirates call their cutlery?
Don't know.
Their Long John silverware. It's actually true.
See you next time.